we can't just move on to say that the president has been sworn in and all of that. I personally, I don't recognize that the president has been sworn in Nigeria. Not my president Buhari, not my president Tinubu, and definitely we need to get to a place where we are not giving people enabling environment to use everything to rig themselves into power and then legitimize themselves because they go on. This acceptance has been what has kept Nigerians down, and we must ensure that, first of all, let's work on getting that justice.
Welcome to Nation's Voice Tower. My name is Angelo, your anchor. I am, of course, so overjoyed with the way proceedings are going in court today, and I've brought you updates on different issues pertaining to the polity in Nigeria. Without wasting much of your time, hearing continues today in the Court of Appeal in Abuja as the Labour Party continues to make their case and their petition against the APC and its candidate, who is the president now, and then the Independent and National Electoral Commission, INEC. Okay, today hearing continues from yesterday, after yesterday's proceedings were adjourned by Justice Samani Simon Haruna, after the Labour Party presented one witness for their case to really go forward or further. And then the case was adjourned to today, 31st day of May 2023. And the ongoing case is still going on. And then I will bring you an update from that court case immediately proceedings are done. Okay, without wasting much of your time, I would like to crave your indulgence to please stay glued to Nation's Voice Tower as we bring you more updates, especially as it pertains the ongoing presidential elections petitions tribunal. Don't forget, today in court, Julius Abure is in court, the legitimate and authentic national chairman of the Labour Party. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, is in court, and for the second time, Deti Baba Ahmed, the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, is in court too, alongside other chieftains of the Labour Party, the NUC and the TUC. Okay, yes, these particular groups are also in attendance in court in the week of today being the day all Nigerians feel frustrated with the subsequent removal of the fuel subsidy by the incoming president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is that on that particular update. I will bring you lots of news after the court session is confirmed and after video footages have been made possible and available for us, for you. Okay, now secondly, we have something different. The presidential candidate of the SDP, Social Democratic Party, in the just concluded general elections, that is Mr. Adewole Adebayo, has come out to condemn all actions or all frustrations displayed by Nigerians on social media and physically. He came on air to condemn these practices, showing the fact that, or making his particular reason, owing that even if it were any of the two majority political parties that won the election and were sworn in, the same thing will have been done. What it is talking about here, he's talking about the subsequent removal of fuel and petrol subsidy by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The presidential candidate of the SDP held it that even if Obi of the Labour Party or Atiku Abubakar had won the elections against Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president, he still held it that fuel subsidy will have been removed and the same problem will have graced the face of Nigerians today. So he gave examples. Of course, we saw all this during the campaign process, during the rally process, when Atiku told everything or told supporters that there will be removal of fuel subsidy immediately he comes into office. Peter Obi also said the same thing. He reiterated that he would make fuel subsidy unavailable in order to kind of recover lost funds, or he would rather make it 50% available. Okay, that is what the manifesto of these two party people, these two presidential candidates of PDP and Labour Party, held in those days too of their campaign. So that means Asiwaju is just doing the same thing he promised people he will do. So expecting these people shouldn't complain over the hike in fuel price and the secrecy or the hoarding of crude oil and fuel by different retailers and wholesalers. Without wasting much of your time, let me allow you to listen and watch Adewole Adebayo while he was making his own statement known during the national TV interview.
Never mind all the argument that the gentleman from Labour is giving. He's living in the past. TUC President Pengassan, they are all living in the past.
Why did he say so?
There are two laws of the land: Petroleum Industry Act and the Appropriation Act 2023 that says that subsidy is not lawful anymore. And TUC and NLC were around when the presidential candidates were campaigning. It was only the SDP that said we will not remove subsidy, but we will rather remove the corruption in the subsidy. But every other presidential candidate, including the president, still clearly stated in their manifesto that the subsidy had to go unconditionally. Not only that, Labour Party said the same thing, PDP said the same thing, and if you look at the votes, majority of voters voted overwhelmingly for the political parties who said they will remove subsidy. They voted for APC largest, PDP next, and Labour. And SDP, on whose platform I ran, and myself as candidate, I got less vote than the three people.
All right, you're welcome to this same channel that gives you more news on political content, more content on the democracy, more updates on the polity and the democratic system in Nigeria. Well, without wasting much of your time, let me quickly analyze what Adeole Adebayo said there. He reiterated that he was the only presidential candidate that said he wouldn't remove the fuel subsidy, okay? And that was confirmed by the presenter there. Yes, during his campaign process, Adeole Adebayo was the only presidential candidate that reiterated how well he was going to deal with the fuel subsidy issue without taking away the subsidy. Instead, he opted to take away the corruption in the subsidy other than taking away the subsidy to the suffering and agony of the Nigerians. That is that on that update. With a wrap up, I would like to give you something from Aisha Yusufu. Aisha Yusufu is a member of the Obi-Deti Presidential Campaign Council. She is also a columnist, an activist, a human rights activist, and a freedom fighter. I have brought you updates of her over time. Now, she has rejected officially Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as her own president, stating facts that point at the alleged unconstitutional means that and process that brought Asiwaju into power. In this particular video footage, you have her in Washington, D.C. talking about the processes that brought about Asiwaju's election and how she feels bitter over his recent swearing in. She made this known on Aljazeera, the national or the international TV station, where she actually gave a brief overview of all her dealings and how the present swearing in of the present president has affected her and the ongoing presidential elections petitions tribunal. Listen and watch Aisha Yusufu while she gave her own take on the recent and just concluded inauguration and swearing in ceremony of Asiwaju and Senator Kashim Shettima.
To come in, first of all, just to briefly talk about a particular case that was mentioned a little bit earlier, the decision that was made by the Supreme Court on the double nomination of Senator Shettima, is to say that the court has ruled that the party that came in didn't have the local standing to do that. It's not so. The thing is still on trial. In terms of whether, for me, one of the things I think we must be consistent about is to understand that without justice, we can't have development, and we cannot keep pushing things away and just throwing things, sweeping things under the bed and all of that. We can't just move on to say that the president has been sworn in and all of that. I don't recognize that a president has been sworn in Nigeria. Not my president Buhari, not my president Tinubu, and definitely we need to get to a place where we are not giving people enabling environment to use everything to rig themselves into power and then legitimize themselves because they go on. This acceptance has been what has kept Nigerians down, and we must ensure that, first of all, let's work on getting that justice. First, he didn't get the highest number of legal votes, and that's in contention. And if we keep moving on, we continue to create enabling environments for people to do heinous things for them to get into power. We must consider political coup in the same way that we consider military coup.
Okay, all right. Truth be told, the truth is always something we always expect to come at the end of a tunnel, like a light at the end of a tunnel. Hence the proverb, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, yes, truths or true words are always bitter, according to the adage. So if Aisha Yusufu would come out to say fearlessly here, of course, we would count that Aisha Yusufu alongside people like Professor Nwachukwu Mustafa and people like Dele Faotimi are one of the few fearless Nigerians that have actually graced the public screen to voice out their own grievances as regards the unconstitutional means that INEC used to conduct their own collation of results and the election that brought the president and his vice into power. Okay, without wasting much of the time, let me bring the update to a close by giving you one last update. Yes, we have Mrs. Donu Kubara. Donu Kubara is a writer and she's also a columnist, also a broadcaster. She's a columnist with the Vanguard dailies, and then she has come out on national TV, Arise News to be precise, to really talk about the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his vice, Senator Kashim Shettima. She said outrightly that Nigerians feel that the alleged election of Asiwaju is a travesty of justice. To her, it is not, because she has fearlessly hit the nail at the head. I would in no way add her to the list of Dele Faotimi, Aisha Yusufu, and Professor Mustafa Nwachukwu for always saying her mind and saying it as it is. This woman, who is a columnist, has come out to call a spade, and she feels that Asiwaju shouldn't be on the seat, even though he has been sworn in. She still believes strongly in the doggedness of the judiciary, in the outright ruling of the judiciary, and she feels that the ongoing election, Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal, will go a long way by vindicating Peter Obi, especially, which was her preferred candidate, and then she feels that Asiwaju would not survive it, even if he could stay on the seat for as long as he wanted. Without bringing much words into this, let me allow you watch Mrs. Donu Kubara while she spoke on national TV and reiterated all the basics that are being considered as Asiwaju has ascended the seat of the president of Nigeria already. So listen to her and listen attentively. She has more points to give us as usual. Listen.
In quite a few arenas.
Yeah.
But I think, I'm not kidding, I really think that there's sort of like a huge therapy session that the president needs to undertake, a huge therapy session to sort of calm down the people who are genuinely grieving, who are furious, who are bitter, who feel that they've been insulted, their tribe. People have died.
Right. Well, people will have something to look towards and to say, hey, he said in the next 100 days this is going to happen. Let's wait and see. Again, without prejudice to the litigation, the ongoing litigation. So the citizens of Nigeria are the most simple, and their expectations are so minimal. I mean, about 60 years after independence, you know, people go and clap for you for building roads and bridges. People hail you for providing pipe-borne water. What more do you want, you know, from a people like this than to deliver dividends of democracy?
I still hope Peter Obi wins his election tribunal case. And I have a lot of sympathy for Atiku as well, because I think they were treated very unfairly. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I don't like the Nigerian habit of sweeping inconvenience people under the carpet the minute somebody emerges victorious. We have a tendency to sycophantically move towards the winner, right? I want the opposition's concerns to be remembered. But, you know, even the president said that yesterday. He accepted their
he said he would reach across, he was extending his hand across the divide.
He also acknowledged their rights to seek legal redress. The question is, you know, kind of, are you going to allow them to seek legal redress fairly, or are you going to interfere in the process? You know, these are the issues that, you know, underlie all the lovely words and comments, you know? These are the things. We mustn't get mesmerized by the window dressing and the sort of like wonderful words. We should hold him to account on lots and lots and lots of different levels.
We've got about 30 seconds left. I mean, in the final analysis, Nigeria's...
Well, he'll have to be a conflict resolution genius to sort out the tensions that are barely simmering. I mean, in fact, raging below the surface. And I mean, even in my own case, I would say I'm a classic example of someone who's, I mean, there's a theory called the 5 stages of grief.
Go on then, let's hear it.
Okay, 5 stages of grief.
You think they're in a grieving stage now, or what stage are they in? Like the people who don't
that happens when you're bereaved or some terrible tragedy befalls you. And many Nigerians feel like that. Not only do they feel that the alleged election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a travesty of justice, or they believe that he won, but they don't think he's the right sort of person to be our president, or they'd have accepted it, except they're Igbo and they're living in Lagos and they've been targeted by mobs who don't like Igbos, and you know, there's so much going on, and as you say, stuff that has nothing to do with Tinubu anyway, that happened long before he came on the scene. Now, going back to these 5 stages of grief, first the first stage is denial, where you struggle to accept that something has happened. The second stage is anger, rage. Then there are other stages, depression, and the final stage is acceptance.
So you think Nigerians have, including the opponents, have accepted the fact that he is president? Right.
I think there is acceptance, you know, in quite a few arenas.
Yeah.
But I think, I'm not kidding, I really think that there's sort of like a huge therapy session that the president needs to undertake, a huge therapy session to sort of calm down the people who are genuinely grieving, who are furious, who are bitter, who feel that they've been insulted, their tribe. People have died.
Right. Well,
people will have something to look towards and to say, hey, he said in the next 100 days this is going to happen. Let's wait and see. Again, without prejudice to the litigation, the ongoing litigation.
All right, all said and done, I would urge us all to please like our videos. Don't forget to share them to people around you and people outside Nigeria. Don't also forget to watch till the end. And please, if you're an incoming subscriber, don't forget to tap the subscribe button. If you're not already an existing subscriber, please do well by tapping the notification bell so you will get notifications from us anytime we drop a new video. Please don't forget, this is Nation's Voice Tower, that hub that brings you political updates back to back to back. See you after the court session. Bye.